Hi, welcome back to Oversharing with Laura. A little bit of a change of venue. I am in a different room and I have the window open right now because it's really nice outside. If you watched the last video, I referenced the car wash that's like catty corner to my house, and we may hear some of those wonderful sounds that I was describing in the last video. Hopefully it's not too distracting. And hopefully the cats aren't too. So, it's been a little while since I've done my last video. I've been really stressed, overwhelmed, dealing with a little bit of burnout, which I plan to have a video about later. But for today, I want to kind of keep with the sensory sensitivity theme that I had going last time. We talked about hearing sensitivity and misophonia, and I'm not going to go into a bunch of details about other sensory issues in this particular video. I will talk about them at other points. I just wanted to talk about why sensory sensitivities can cause people to have a meltdown or a shutdown, or if you continue to put yourself in these situations without any kind of supports, then you can even have burnout issues. And people who have sensory problems, there's reasons why some situations they can really react really badly to, and other situations that to like your neurotypical like lay person may look like the same thing, but really they're not. And so I'm gonna do like a little bit of like a thought experiment that I hope makes that a little bit more understandable. And I do want to mention that a lot of people think there's 5 senses, which is totally incorrect. But there are other ones that you can have sensory sensitivities to. And I am a lucky individual in that pretty much all of them, except I think one I don't really have that many problems with. But pretty much all the other ones, I have some sensory issues for all of them. Some worse than others, obviously. My cats are back there doing acrobatics, if you caught that. Very nice. So, sometimes I feel like a neurotypical person will see a neurodivergent person panicking over a certain sound or a smell or lights or, a lot of different things, and think that they're seriously overacting, that they're being really dramatic, that they're being really manipulative, because they see them, like for instance, say a person who is freaking out over a sound, saying it's too loud. There's too many people talking. It's way too loud in here. I can't stand it. The music, you're going to have to turn that down. I can't have the TV on while you're talking to me or whatever. They may be just freaking out about that stuff. And it seems like really high maintenance and kind of crazy. Like they're just trying to be difficult, especially when later on you may see this same person with headphones on and they're playing music so loud that you can hear them, the music coming from the headphones, and you're like standing quite a bit of a distance away. And you're like, well, clearly loud sounds are not their problem, because those two things seem the same to somebody that's not dealing with those sensory sensitivities. They're actually totally different situations from the inside, from that person's perspective. And I'm going to do this little kind of a thought experiment to illustrate why those are two different situations. So a little while ago, I had some muscle spasms in my shoulders, and I mean, it was driving me insane. So I was using one of these things. This is a 10 unit, and you have the little controller, and you have these like little electrode pads that have, little wires that connect to the controller. And you put these little pads on different parts of your body, like different muscle groups, and you'll attach, 2, 4, whatever you need. This one will do up to like, I think 4 or something at a time. But anyway, you can put these on, and then this little unit then will set the frequency of the vibrations that it's sending through the little electric signals. You can set the intensity and the frequency. So some of them are really, really light, and they're so light you can barely feel it at all. Like if you're on a level 1, a certain frequency, it's not going to be doing anything. But you can keep going up and up and up. And because different people have different pain tolerances and different needs, some of them go up pretty high. It can be like actually really painful. And obviously, when you're using this, you don't set it on a frequency or intensity that is painful. Because, when I was using it for therapeutic reasons, to actually make me have less pain, not more pain. So I would set it at a level that was good for me, that made me feel better. That is kind of akin to a person with a sensory sensitivity, giving them self-stimulation through that sense. So that person with the headphones on that's playing really loud music, this is a sense that they have control of. They are controlling that intensity. That same person in a very noisy room where they are not in control of that sound is a whole different situation. It would be like if you had one of these things, but instead of you putting the electrodes on and setting, a comfortable frequency and intensity for therapeutic use, it would be like if somebody had like tied you to a chair, put these electrodes on you, and then just started like arbitrarily choosing what intensity and what frequency they wanted. Some of them painful. That would be like the actual literal definition of torture. You would have no control about the input that you are receiving from this machine. That is exactly what happens when you have a sensitivity and you are outside of your comfort zone. You are out in the world. You are out there experiencing things that are happening to you that you cannot control. You can't stop the sound from happening. You can't stop the lights from happening. You can't stop the movements from happening. All of these things that you can't control. Don't you think if you were strapped to that chair and you had this machine just like shooting electricity into your muscles at a really high rate and you couldn't make it stop, you couldn't even make it less, that you might panic, that you might be scared, that you might be angry, that you might flip out a little bit? If you're a sensitive individual and you're out in the world and that stuff is bombarding you, you get scared, you get panicked, you get angry, you react. It's that fight, flight, freeze thing all over again. It is a painful situation. Like it causes literal physical pain. You're so sensitive. Your senses are so sensitive that what you're taking in, your brain can't handle. That is exactly what it's like to be overwhelmed by a sensory processing disorder or a sensory sensitivity that you might have, whether it be taste, touch, smell, you know, movement, all of that stuff. I hope that this helped some people kind of understand why a neurodiverse person might be kind of freaking out in a situation that to you seems totally normal and not at all scary or painful or anything like that. And makes a little more sense if you happen to see them in a similar situation where they're perfectly happy, but they are in control. Why those are actually two different situations. And I promise you, this person, those people, they are not doing this stuff just to be controlling or to be difficult. It's a matter of not wanting to be in pain and not wanting to be out of control. Okay, so that is really all I had to say for this episode. I don't really know what I'm going to do next. I'm probably going to not be talking about sensory stuff. I'm going to move on to some other things. So we'll see what appeals to me next time I decide to make a video. Thank you for joining me. Bye.